North Korean leader Kim Jong-un told Russian President Vladimir Putin that he's sure that the Russian army would triumph against quote-unquote evil. By evil, Kim reportedly referred to the West. Kim Jong-un proposed a toast to Putin's health and the victory of what he called Great Russia. Putin and Kim were offered a menu including duck and fish salad, crab dumplings, sturgeon with Russian wines. The meeting between Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin happened right after North Korea launched a ballistic missile. North Korea fired 2 ballistic missiles off its east coast. Japanese Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno has said that Tokyo strongly protests against North Korea's missile launch. Matsuno said the 2 missiles fell in the sea outside Japan's exclusive economic zone. A Russian drone attack has damaged port infrastructure in the Izmail district of southern Ukraine. It is an important grain exporting hub. The attack on Izmail was carried out in several waves, and the Ukrainian military said the attack lasted for 4.5 hours. It caused a fire at a truck parking lot. The Ukrainian Air Force said 32 of the 44 Iranian-made Shahed drones that Russia launched into Ukraine overnight had been destroyed. Russia has said that a shipyard on the Crimean Peninsula caught fire on Wednesday. This happened after Ukraine launched 10 missiles and 3 speedboat attacks on the port. 2 ships were also damaged in the incident. Russia said it downed 7 missiles and all 3 boats were destroyed by a patrol ship. Russia annexed Crimea in 2014, and the strategic shipyard on the peninsula builds and repairs ships and submarines of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas has spoken about the controversy surrounding her husband's alleged Russian business links. She called the scandal a quote-unquote witch hunt by political opponents who are calling for a resignation. Last month, reports emerged that Kallas's husband co-owned a logistics company that continued to do business in Russia after the war broke out in Ukraine. The Estonian Prime Minister has been under pressure ever since. The couple maintains that the business was assisting another Estonian company wrap up trade in Russia. Taiwan's defense ministry has said it spotted 28 Chinese Air Force planes in its air defense zone on Wednesday. Taipei calls this regular harassment by Beijing amid heightened tensions across the strait. Chinese warplanes, including jet and fighters, reportedly flew into the southwestern corner of the island's air defense identification zone. China views Taiwan as its own territory and has threatened to claim it by force. Junta leaders in Niger have said that the country will end a military pact with neighboring Benin. Benin has been accused of authorizing deployment of troops. This is for a possible military intervention by the West African regional bloc called ECOWAS against Niger. ECOWAS is trying to negotiate with the military leaders in Niamey. However, if diplomatic efforts fail, ECOWAS has said it is ready to use force. This would be as a last resort to restore constitutional order in Niger and reverse the coup. U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has called for an impeachment inquiry against U.S. President Joe Biden. Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives pushed for the inquiry against Biden. Republicans have alleged that Biden profited from his term as vice president. Joe Biden served as vice president when Barack Obama was U.S. president from the year 2009 to 2017. Some Republicans threatened to oust House Speaker McCarthy if he did not probe Joe Biden. Mexico held its first public congressional hearing on unidentified anomalous phenomenon, also known as UFOs. In a shocking revelation, the remains of alleged non-human beings were presented. The 2 bodies were recovered in 2017 in Peru and are apparently 700 and 1800 years old. These creatures had only 3 fingers on each hand and elongated heads. A United Nations agency has said that the border between the United States and Mexico is the world's deadliest land route for migrants. At least 686 people have either been killed or have gone missing on the frontier last year alone. Some of the common reasons behind their deaths are heat stroke and hypothermia. Spanish and Italian Air Force pilots flew Eurofighters on Tuesday. This was during an air policing mission over the Baltics. The pilots took off from Lithuania and demonstrated interception and patrol maneuvers. Detachments of Eurofighters from Italy and Spain took over NATO's Baltic air policing mission in August 2023, replacing Romania, Portugal, and the United Kingdom. A luxury cruise ship carrying 206 people has run aground in a remote region of Greenland. The Danish military has said that it would take days to send help. An aerial picture shows the ocean explorer some 1,400 kilometers northeast of Greenland's capital. So far, there are no reports of injuries. Moving to climate, heavy rains have triggered flash floods in Vietnam. 3 people were killed and 7 others are still missing. Local authorities are searching for those missing and repairing infrastructures damaged by the floods. Thousands of people were killed and at least 10,000 are missing in Libya. More than 1,000 dead bodies have been recovered so far. This was after Storm Daniel battered the country. Around a quarter of Libya's eastern city of Derna was wiped out by floods after dams burst during the storm. Floodwaters covered the streets of Maastricht in the Netherlands. The floods affected several buildings, including a school and a hospital. Footage showed flooded streets and water-covered sidewalks. Hurricane Lee is expected to bring dangerous surf and rip currents to the U.S. East Coast. The U.S. National Hurricane Center says it could come in the next few days. Forecasters are warning people to look out for wind and rain hazards. The U.S. accounts for more than a third of the expansion of global oil and gas production. This is despite the country's claim of climate leadership. The findings are based on a report from the campaign group called Oil Change International. According to the report, after the US, Canada and Russia have the next biggest expansion plans. The United Arab Emirates is 7th on the list. The UAE will host the annual UN Climate Summit COP28 in November this year. California State Senate has approved a new bill. It will require large companies to report their carbon footprints. The California bill was supported by several big companies including Apple, IKEA and Microsoft. The bill has now been sent to Governor Gavin Newsom for approval. The European Commission has warned that the EU urgently needs more funding. This is to respond to climate change fuel crisis. The Commission wants to add an extra 2.5 billion euros to its emergency aid reserve in 2024-2027. This comes after the EU exhausted the reserve in both 2021 and 2022. In Australia, a majority of Labour Party voters think the Albanese government is not doing enough to address the climate crisis. This is according to the Climate of the Nation survey. It charts the attitudes of Australians towards climate change and its impact. The survey found 52% of Labour Party supporters think the government should do more to prepare for climate change. On to business and tech. David Solomon, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, has said the US economy is en route to avoid a significant recession. However, he has warned that inflation will likely be more persistent than currently expected. Solomon added that the Federal Reserve might need to take further action in the situation. Financial firm Wells Fargo has said that it could see its headcount decline further. The bank has been trimming its workforce since the third quarter of 2020. The company has already reduced its employee base by nearly 40,000. These cuts are likely to continue, and the company says the cuts will help it improve efficiency. Amazon has said it is investing over $440 million over the next year. This is to boost wages for its contract delivery employees. With this, Amazon now expects its U.S. workers to earn at least $20.5 per hour on average. Amazon uses external operators to facilitate its parcel delivery. It employs about 279,000 drivers through this. The U.S. unit of crypto giant Binance has said that its CEO, Brian Schroeder, will leave. The company also said that it is cutting more than 100 jobs. This is roughly a third of its total U.S. headcount. Binance did not give a reason for Schroeder's departure. In June, an American market regulator filed a lawsuit against the crypto exchange and its founder. This was for allegedly creating a deceptive business. Australia's top court has ruled that Qantas Airways broke the law. This is by sacking 1,700 ground staff and replacing them with contractors. The airline did this during the COVID-19 pandemic. Qantas's actions were allegedly motivated to prevent the employees from collectively bargaining or negotiating terms. Last week, the airline's CEO announced an early retirement amid a string of controversies. German premium footwear brand Birkenstock has filed for an initial public offering or IPO in the United States. However, it did not disclose the financial details of the listing. It intends to list its new shares in the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker BERK. Nike held its annual general meeting yesterday. The company's investors voted against two key shareholder-led proposals. The first one called on the sportswear giant to provide more data on pay equity for female and minority employees. The second asked Nike to issue a report on its equity goals and human rights commitments in its supply chain. The African Union is planning to launch a new African credit rating agency next year. This is to address the group's concerns that ratings given to countries on the continent are unfair. The African Union alleges that the major rating agencies like Moody's, Fitch and S&P do not fairly assess its countries. The African Union also claims that these agencies are quicker to downgrade African nations during crises. Apple unveiled its new line of products, including new variants of the iPhone and Apple Watch. The company has finally made the USB Type-C charging port available on its iPhones. This comes after pressure from the European Union, where last year it made it mandatory for all phones in the region to have a standard USB Type-C charging ports by 2024. Apple also launched what it calls a carbon-neutral version of its Apple Watch. The company says it plans to go carbon neutral by the year 2030. Meanwhile, Apple has reacted to France's claims on the iPhone 12's radiation levels. The company said that the iPhone 12 model was certified by multiple international bodies. This is for its compliance with global radiation standards. Earlier, French regulators ordered Apple to halt the sales of the iPhone for allegedly emitting too much electromagnetic radiation. Moving to sports, in cricket, India has qualified for the 2023 Asia Cup final. They defeated the defending champion Sri Lanka by 41 runs in the Super 4 stage. India lost all their wickets for 213 in 49.1 overs. Sri Lanka's Dunitwal Age decimated India's top batting order. He took 5 wickets in the match and said Virat Kohli's wicket was his favourite. However, Sri Lanka's quality bowling was marred by the disappointing batting. They were dismissed for 172 runs in 41.3 overs. South Africa cruised to a 111-run victory over Australia on Tuesday. This is during the third one-day international of the ongoing 5-match series. Australia won the toss and chose to bowl first. South Africa set a target of 339 runs in the first innings. The win was a major relief for South Africa after a couple of successive defeats. Aiden Markram, the man of the match, said the victory reinforced their confidence ahead of the World Cup in India. However, Australia still lead the series 2-1. In football, Argentina secured a 3-0 win over Bolivia at the World Cup qualifier yesterday. Chelsea's Enzo Fernandez scored the first goal after half an hour. Bolivia were then reduced to 10 after Roberto Fernandez was shown a red card in the 39th minute. Nicolas Tagliafico's header in the 42nd minute doubled the lead for Argentina. In the second half, Nicolas Gonzalez sealed the match with a goal in the 83rd minute. Argentina's captain Lionel Messi skipped the match and was replaced by Angel Di Maria. Romania beat Kosovo 2-0 at the Euro 2024 qualifier yesterday. The match was halted for about an hour after Romanian fans chanted pro-Serbia slogans. The game was paused in the 18th minute and the players were sent back to the changing rooms. Romanian fans had also held up a banner that read, "Kosovo is Serbia." Spain's former football chief, Luis Rubiales, has been summoned to testify at the country's national court. Rubiales faces sexual harassment and coercion charges for kissing Spanish footballer Jenny Hermoso. Hermoso said she was kissed without consent at the FIFA Women's World Cup. This happened during the post-match ceremony after Spain won the tournament. Rubiales, who was given a 90-day ban by FIFA, recently resigned after the controversy. In basketball, NBA basketball player Kevin Jr. Porter was arrested yesterday. The 23-year-old faces charges of felony, assault, and strangulation. Porter allegedly attacked a woman at a hotel in New York. According to the criminal complaint, he is accused of hitting her in the face and choking her. The woman was hospitalized with a cut on her face and suffered a neck injury. In tennis, two-time Grand Slam winner Simona Halep was given a 4-year ban. This is over 2 separate anti-doping rule violations. The International Tennis Integrity Agency announced that the offences were intentional. Halep had been provisionally suspended since October 2022 after she tested positive for a banned substance. Halep was charged with another violation in May. The WWE and UFC completed their merger yesterday. It was worth over $20 billion and was launched under a new brand name. The new public trading company is known as TKO Group Holdings. UFC owners control 51% of the company, while WWE owners have about 49% of it. China has unveiled its squad for the upcoming Asian Games. The team consists of over 880 athletes who will compete at the event. China's National Sports Bureau director said, and I quote, "Athletes should bring glory to the country and fully demonstrate the immense power of China's modern sports practice." The 19th edition of the Asian Games will start from the 23rd of September. The International Hockey Federation withdrew hosting rights for the Olympic qualifiers from Pakistan. The qualifying event was supposed to be held next year in Lahore. Moving to entertainment, Hollywood writers' strike has entered its 20th week. The industry's top creators are set to meet the top leadership of the Writers Guild of America on Friday. The meeting will focus on status update on where negotiations stand. Negotiations with the WGA and AMPTP union that represents Hollywood studios have been at a standstill. The National Book Foundation is dropping actor and talk show host Drew Barrymore as host of their upcoming awards ceremony. She was announced as the host of the ceremony in July this year, and the decision comes after Barrymore announced that she will resume filming her show called The Drew Barrymore Show. The show had been off-air after Hollywood writers went on strike in the month of May. The show will work without striking writers, a decision which is being criticized. Three other talk shows, including The Talk, The Jennifer Hudson Show, and Sherry, are returning for production. This comes as Hollywood writers' strike continues. The strike has shut down production of hundreds of TV shows and films over the last 5 months. Striking writers and actors are demanding higher pay and regulation of the use of artificial intelligence in Hollywood. American film director Steven Spielberg and his wife and actor Kate Capshaw have donated $1.5 million to support actors and writers on strike. The funds have gone to both the Entertainment Community Fund and the SAG-AFTRA Foundation's Emergency Financial Assistance Program. These funds are working to help striking actors and writers cover basic living expenses. It's a good day for all the Swifties. Singer Taylor Swift won big at the MTV Video Music Awards 2023. She bagged 6 awards, including Best Pop Music Video and Best Song for her hit Anti-Hero. Swift also created history by becoming the first artist to win Video of the Year award for 2 years in a row. In her award acceptance speech, Taylor Swift said that her journey in the music industry is one big adventure. Singers Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez were not seated next to each other at the VMAs, but the two best friends made sure to cheer for each other. Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez were visibly happy and excited after the other went on stage to receive an award. The two singers became friends in the year 2008 and have been vocal about their support for each other. The Video Music Awards 2023 showcased a long lineup of singers who performed their best music for the fans. Singer Shakira delivered a 10-minute performance as she sang her hit songs in both Spanish and English. This included some of her iconic songs, Hips Don't Lie and Whenever Wherever. Singer Demi Lovato took to the stage and performed her hit songs Heart Attack and Cool for the Summer. Other singers who performed included Lil Wayne, Doja Cat, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. The trailer of the season 4 of Netflix hit show Sex Education is out. This will be the final season of the show. The trailer got over 700,000 views in the first 15 hours. Sex Education follows the lives of high school students as they navigate through the struggles of adolescence, relationships, self-acceptance, and personal growth. Game of Thrones actor Sophie Turner was spotted in public for the first time since the news of her divorce from husband Joe Jonas went public last week. Turner was seen on the sets of her upcoming drama film Juan. She was spotted in a short bob haircut and a white tattoo on her back. During his concert, Joe Jonas told the audience that it has been a crazy week for him and urged fans to not pay heed to rumors. And finally, singer Ariana Grande has opened up about using cosmetic injectables. She said that she had used a ton of lip fillers and Botox over the years. Grande added that she stopped in 2018 because she felt it was too much. Grande got emotional while discussing her experience with Botox and lip fillers. She said, and I quote, "I want to see my well-earned cry lines and smile lines. I hope they get deeper and I laugh more."